today we're gonna reveal what the Messiah looks like to you, so we can build off of that, right? Because our foundation is supposed to be who?
Our beliefs in the Bible.
Our foundation is supposed to be Christ.
Yeah.
So if you believe that Christ is a white man, your foundation is shaky already, because that's not what's in the Bible. Watch this. Jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
So we reading about the Son of Man. Christ went by the title of the Son of Man in the Bible. When you hear about the Son of Man, it's referring to Christ, right? Jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the first thing that John the Revelator saw when he saw the Son of Man, he said, look, he looked like he got white, woolly, textured hair. What type of people on earth has, when you examine it right throughout history, it's only 2 types of textures of hair. You got, what are the 2 types?
European and foreign, I suppose.
European and black people's hair. Black people have woolly hair, European have white string, or have stringy hair, right? So Christ said, read it again.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the Bible says that Christ had woolly textured hair. So was his hair like Europeans? You know what woolly is? You know the texture of wool? What's the texture of wool?
Like sheep.
Like sheep, right? Like sheep. Or textured hair. Take off your hair real quick. Let me see something. It's all good. Don't worry about it. You clean in the eyesight of the Lord, right? Keep it off. It's all good. You look good like that, brother. But woolly textured hair, right? We're the only people that have that type of textured hair. What is the Messiah saying? He's saying he got the same hair that you got, bruh. Read.
As white as snow.
But the difference between his hair and your hair was he had it white all over. His beard and his afro was white as snow, right? We say gray, but he said it was white like snow. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And the whites of his eyes was red like the flame of fire. You know, when black folks, we drink a little wine or whatever, right? What happens to the whites of our eyes? They turn a little red, right? That only happens with our people. So Christ said his eyes was red like, read it again.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
It says his eyes was as a flame of fire, meaning it was red. Because Christ, what was Christ's first miracle? You remember 38 years, you should remember that story. Remember when, before he started his ministry, he was at a marriage, and they ran out of wine. So his mother bid him, right, said, Christ, pull this one through for us, right? What was his first miracle? What did he turn that water into?
Wine.
He turned it into wine, right? You don't think he had a sip? It's a marriage feast. You don't think he had a sip? So read it again.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So the Messiah, he had white woolly hair, he had red eyes. Now we about to go into his skin complexion, because you probably still think, okay, it's a possibility that this still could be a Caucasian man, right? Let's find out. Let's close that confusion. Read that.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So Wayne, right? Your feet is the same color as the rest of your body, right? Your feet is typically the same color as the rest of your body, right? Unless you got some type of health condition, your feet is the same color as the rest of your body, right? Christ was perfect, so we know he didn't have no health condition. So read it again.
And his feet.
Now his skin complexion. So when he says his feet, it's talking about his skin complexion, right? Read.
Like unto fine brass.
Wayne, what color is brass?
Brass is like, brass is not gold, but it's a bronze.
It's like a brown color, right? Because like for instance, right? These are pictures of brass, right? So brass would look more closely to you, right? Would brass be more compared to this? No, this is more like whitish pink, right? Christ said his skin complexion was like unto brass. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
But that brown brass that was already there, right? You put it in the furnace, what color is it going to turn?
Turn dark.
It's going to turn very dark. What are we reading, Wayne? We reading the description of Jesus Christ. So based upon the description of Jesus Christ, do he look like this? These images that they use to conquer us with? Or do he look like he could be your big brother, or your father, or your uncle, or someone that's close to your kindreds?
never seen Jesus Christ.
We read about him. Have you seen Abraham Lincoln? But you read about him, right? And based upon what you read, do he look like a black man?
Yeah, well,
Abraham Lincoln. I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham
Basically, was he a white man or was he a black man?
From what I believe he was a black man.
Abraham Lincoln,
Yes,
a
sir.
president.
Yes.
No, there's no historical proof that you can prove that he was a black man. Even the people that, he wasn't no black man, bro. You just gotta read a little bit. He wasn't no black man, bro. But I'm using that example as we can read about people that we never seen and understand what they look like based upon what we read. So based upon what you read in the Bible today, what do Christ look like?
Christ actually, the last image I seen of Christ was
I'm not talking about the last image. I'm talking about what we just read.
bronze skin and hair of wool.
So he a black man. So where do they get all these other imagery, all this other imagery from? Because we reading out of the Bible. We not taking secondhand information no more. We reading out of the Bible. And based upon the Bible, Christ was a black man. Christ is a black man.
That's right.
So with that being said, if they're bold enough to lie and change the image of Christ, you don't think they're bold enough to lie and change what his ministry was? What you think Christ's sole purpose was? And I want you to dialect with me, bro. What you think Christ, the Messiah, who they named time after, right? What you think his sole purpose was?
His sole purpose.
His sole purpose, the reason why he was placed on the earth.
Spread his gospel and what he went through.
What's the gospel? The gospel is good news. So what was the good news that Christ was trying to bring out?
To my perception, he had a bunch of people that he preached to that followed him and continued his congregation.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out, right? Watch this. Give me Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, right? We're gonna read what was Christ's sole purpose, right? And what's your nationality, bro?
My nationality, I'm American with Jamaican descent.
Okay, so that's your citizenship, right? You're American with Jamaican descent, right? Was your father Jamaican?
My father and mother.
Your father and your mother. You see that chart right there? That chart right there has 12 names on there, right? The 12 names represent the children of God. That's the names of the children of Israel. Where do you see the Jamaicans at? Because the Jamaicans, that's a royal people, right? They're special. They from the tribe of Benjamin, right? So you not a Jamaican, bro. You an Israelite.
Right.
Before we was conquered, we was Israelites. Once we got conquered, they put pet names on us like Jamaican, Puerto Rican, African. All these was pet names that they placed upon us after they done broke us as a people. How you doing, big bro? Pay attention to that sign right there. Watch this. Give me Matthew 1 and 21. So we reading what was Christ's sole purpose. Come on up, sis.
Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name
They
Jesus.
should call his name what?
Jesus. For he shall save his people.
So what is Christ supposed to do?
Save his people.
Sis, how you doing, sis? I ain't putting you on the spot, but I got a question for you. The Bible says that Jesus Christ would save his people. Did it say it's going to save all people or his people, meaning possessive? It says his people. Now I got a question for you, sis. I got a question. You got to go? Well, I'm going to deal with my brother Wim. Who is his people?
I got interrupted. I listened to the conversation that was going on. Listen to his people.
So watch this. So I'm going to read it again. Read it again.
The book of Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. And he shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. For he shall save his people from their sins.
So Christ's sole purpose was to save his people from their sins. Who is his people? Who is Christ's people?
The Israelites.
The Israelites. Where do you descend from?
Benjamin.
So you are Israelites. So the sole purpose of the black man, Jesus Christ, was to save his people, the Israelites. That's why it makes more sense when he said it in Matthew 15 and 24. Read this real quick. Matthew 15, verse 24.
The book of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So that's why it makes more sense for Christ to say that, because he understood what his purpose was. He was sent for the lost sheep of Israel so he can die for their sins. So that's why Christ was hung on the cross, bro. That's why they hung him.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
Now I got a question, right? I got a question. Why are they not teaching us that in the church?
I have no idea.
You say you have no idea?
I don't have no idea.
Give me Micah chapter 3, verse 11, right? When the last time you've been to church?
2 weeks ago, a week ago.
2 weeks ago, so that's freshly new, right?
Yeah.
How long you stay there? Micah 3 and 11. How long did you stay there? Stay there as long as you could? All right. Within, so about probably an hour, 2 hours or so? What you learn? Whole lot, huh? You learned a lot, huh? Break it down, give me some.
I learned a whole lot.
What you learn? Did you learn that Christ was black?
No, I passed on without
Did you learn that you was an Israelite?
No.
Did you learn that Christ died for his people?
I did learn that.
But you didn't know that you was Christ's people?
I got you.
I'm gonna show you, bro. The Christian churches, they not teaching our people nothing. That's why every church that you see, typically that's a bad neighborhood.
That's right.
That's a bad neighborhood. When you go to Martin Luther King Street, it's a bunch of churches on that block, right? But every time the sun go down, right, what do you have on that block? Shootouts, prostitution, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, so on and so forth. How do we have all these different negativities if we supposed to have the word of God? I'm going to show you what's going on. Watch this, read this. Micah 3 and 11. Is that it?
The book of Micah, chapter 3 and verse 11. The heads thereof judge for reward.
So the heads, right? The heads represent the priests, the pastors, the deacons, right? The leaders of the congregation. The Lord is telling you their mannerisms. Watch it, read it again.
The heads thereof judge for reward.
So when they bring out the Bible, right? The modern day churches, when they bring out the Bible, they bring it out because they're trying to get some type of financial gain. For instance, did you pay tithes?
I pay tithes every
How much you
day.
pay?
Whatever God bless me to give back.
How much you pay last week?
Last week, I didn't pay anything last week. I should
You
be
keep your
paying.
receipts?
Yes, I do.
Keep your receipts because you need to get a refund, bro, because they stealing from the people. They ain't supposed to be charging. You know what tithes is? What's tithes?
It's dues to me.
It's dues to you. Okay. I'm going to break down what tithes is, bro, because tithes didn't have nothing to do with money. I wanted to call it, what do they call it? Government notes or something like that. What is it called? No, they say it on a dollar bill. Federal Reserve notes. It has nothing to do with that. Tithes didn't have nothing to do with Federal Reserve notes. Tithes was dealing with crops and food, right? So watch this, read it again.
Micah chapter 3 and verse 11. The heads thereof judge for reward.
But the modern pastors in 2023, they use this Bible to get money from the people. That's why it says they judge for a reward. Read.
And the priests thereof teach for hire.
What they do?
They teach for hire.
For instance, right, it says the priests thereof, they teach for hire. Wayne, watch this, right? Typically when somebody gets shot in our neighborhood, right, injustice shooting, right, maybe the police shoot somebody or something like that, right, who do they typically call out to go preach to the people? Come on up, sis. What's her name? How you doing, sis? You believe in the Bible? You do believe in the Bible? Watch this. Are you familiar with the modern day pastors today? Like the T.D. Jakes, the Creflo Dollars, the Juanita Bynums, and all our modern pastors? In order to stay in that congregation, what do you got to do? What you got to do, sis? What? You don't know? Wayne, in order for you to be a member of that congregation, what do you got to do?
I guess join.
You got to pay. Because if you don't pay after a process of time, guess what? They're going to say, "What? You ain't a member." We reading their covetousness in the Bible. Read it again.
The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money.
The Bible says that the modern day pastors, they divine for money. That's why we don't know who we are in the Bible. That's why we don't know what our sins is. That's why we don't know what separated us from God. Give me Lamentations 2 and 14. You smoke? What is that, bro? A vape? What is it? What does it do to you?
Actually, it's just my vice. It's what I enjoy.
It's what you enjoy, right? You believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
You think when Christ come that we gonna be vaping? You think when Christ come we gonna be smoking weed? Because you got to think about that thing, right? Does that purify your temple? Does that purify your body? Does it bring you back to health?
Nothing in this world can bring you back to health.
This brings our people back to health. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the resurrection of a dead people right now. This is what's bringing us back to health. Because prior to that, we thought we was African American. Those are sis that just got that flyer. Miss, how you doing, sis? Do you? What's your nationality? Eritrea, right? So you're part of the diaspora as well too, right? Now, when it comes to our people that was enslaved, right? Does the titles that we take on, does that empower us, or does it bring us to a lower state? It empowers us, right? So I got a question. When you deal with the Eritrean people, right? Who are the Eritrean people in the Bible? Because Christ, nor God, nor the prophets call the Eritrean people Eritrea. But y'all do descend from the 12 tribes of Israel. Y'all part of the diaspora, right? So I was speaking to my brother Wayne, right? He said, in the world, nothing gives us life, right? But you said what? God gives us life, right? But I got a question. What things do we got to do to get that life that God's trying to give us? You need to what?
You need to pray.
Let me bring something out to you real quick. Hold that. Give me Proverbs chapter, what is it? 4 and 2? I'm gonna read something to you real quick. What gives us the life? 7 and 2? Give me that real quick. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Watch this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 2. Keep my commandments and live.
Do what?
Keep my commandments and live.
What's your name, man? Lele? This is my brother Wayne right here, right? So Wayne, this is Lily. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, right? God said, keep my commandments and live, right? Do the churches teach the commandments in the church?
They do mine.
They do? Yeah. All of them?
I don't know about all of them. I can't talk about that. You only just, when you go church, you got to find the God in your heart.
I'm going to drop something on y'all, right? You eat pork? You eat pork? What about you? You eat pork?
I eat pork now. But back in the day, I didn't eat
What about shrimp, crab? Now, I'm going to drop something on y'all real quick, because what we're trying to prove is that the churches, the modern day churches, they've been lying to our people. They have not been teaching us what Christ looked like. They have not been teaching us our nationality in the Bible. And most importantly, they have not been teaching us God's commandments. So I'm just throwing out some small ones, right? Watch this. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter. You don't know a lot? You about to learn something today. You about to learn something today. Leviticus 11 and 7. Watch this.
And the swine.
Read it again.
And the swine.
What's your name again? Lele. You know what swine is, right? What is swine?
Yeah, I know.
Wayne, what's swine, bro?
pork.
So pork, right? The food that they gave us in slavery, right? Because that's when our people started eating this crap. We started eating it in slavery. So read it again.
And the swine.
And the swine, the pork chops, the chitlins, the hog mucks, right? Read.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
Meaning that he don't have the proper digestive system for us to eat that thing. The way he digests food, His flesh is not good for us. Read.
He is unclean to you.
Did y'all know we got a dietary law in here? Now, when you examine our people, right? A lot of our people, we be cranky. A lot of our people deal with chronic depression. A lot of our people deal with all types of mental illnesses, right? That's affecting the psyche. And then also, you got high blood pressure. You got gout. You got diabetes at a high rate, right? Why do you think all these things plague our people and they have no cure for it? They'll give you some type of medicine, but they have no cure for it. Why do you think that? We reading it because God told us the things that we need to put in our system. You said that, guess what? Can't nothing bring us back to life. Guess what? We keep the dietary law. Guess what? You coming back to life. You coming back to life. Hey, do you agree with that, big bro? If we eat properly, we'll come back to life. Because what you put in your system, it affects your mental. Watch this. Read it again.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine.
You know what swine is, right? Pig, right? Okay, go ahead.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
You understand what all that mean? What that mean?
Should be eating pork and stuff like that.
That's the ultimate conclusion. But he says, though he divide the hoof and he's cloven footed. What he means is that the way that pig is designed, he has a purpose, but his purpose is not to be eaten. It's not our purpose. It's not meant to be eaten. Read.
He is unclean to you.
The pig is unclean to us. And why we deal with the pig for right now, right? Typically, right? When you want something quick to eat, right? Where you go?
You're supposed to go to like a tree or something like that, but I usually...
No, I'm talking about I'm not talking about if you have the wisdom. I'm talking about just in modern day living. Yeah.
Like the store.
You go to the store, right?
Microwave food and stuff.
Microwave food, right?
Yeah.
And typically when you look on the back of those ingredients, it's pork everywhere. You go to McDonald's, if you want any type of breakfast and it contains any type of meat product, it's all pork. McDonald's, Taco Bell, all the little spots that they advertise on TV, they all break this commandment. You know why? Because they want us all sick. That's what's going on. Read.
Of their he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
God said, of their flesh shall ye not eat. Now I got a question, right? Say, for instance, something small as pork. If we take that out of our diet, you think that will heal us?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Because pork is unclean, and if we don't get it, then it's not going to affect us.
Pork is unclean, right? Just for instance, I use the analogy that my brothers use, right? You got a car?
No.
What about y'all? Y'all got big bro with the red sweats on. You got a car?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. When you had a car, what kind of car you had?
It's a little Pontiac.
Little Pontiac. You like that thing? Probably paid for it and stuff, charities and everything, right? What kind of gas does it take?
It was just unleaded.
Unleaded. What would happen if you put diesel in that tank? It'll do what? You see where I'm going with this? Now, we understand that, right? We got mechanical knowledge, right, to understand. Listen, if I put diesel in this vehicle, it's going to mess it up. What about if we put pork in our system? You ever had a big mama that probably died from diabetes or something like that? You? Big daddy. My granddad died from diabetes, had gout and everything. You know what he was lacking? The knowledge of God. That's why every Sunday we was eating all this crap. But God said, read it again. Read that last part again.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
You put something unclean in you, it's gonna have an effect, right? Now we understand that when it comes to food, right? We understand that pork is unclean. What about smoking weed?
Not healthy.
What you think, big bro? Come on up, bro. Come on, you right here. Come on up. What you think? You my brother, bro. We on the dialogue. We don't really get to talk to one another that often. So why not today? We don't really get to talk to one another. We keep it pushing. You go about your business, I go about my business. We don't really get to bond with our nation. So right now is the time to bond, bro. What about weed? What you think? You think that's acceptable? You think that's a clean product to put in our body?
No, probably not.
Probably not? Why would you say probably not?
Well, just, I mean, it changes your psyche.
It do what?
It changes your mental.
You heard that, Wayne? What'd he say? Say it again for the brother. Edify the brother.
It changes like your mental.
I smoke, but if it would change like momentum and cycle.
Now, do y'all understand how important y'all are to the Most High God? Do y'all, where y'all find yourselves at right there on that chart?
I see the tribe of Judah, the American black.
So you from the tribe of Judah, right? How you doing, sis? Get a flyer. What tribe you from? You from the tribe of Judah, right? What tribe you from? You from the tribe of Benjamin. What tribe you from? You from the tribe of Judah, right? Now, Christ was from the tribe of Judah. King David was from the tribe of Judah. All the mighty men, Judah was the tribe. All the 12 tribes is a royal nation, but Judah was the tribe, right? Now, when you examine the blacks today, right? Do they look mighty? Do they look royal? I'm going to show you what happened to us. Watch. Give me Job chapter 9, verse 24. Our enemies understood that. That's why it was important for them to change. I see you, sis. Come on up. What tribe you from? You from Mexico, right? What tribe are you from in the Bible? What does God call the royal Mexican people in the Bible? So God called y'all Issachar. Right. So society says that you're from Mexico, right? But God calls you Issachar. The only difference that blacks and Latinos have the only difference between blacks and Latinos is a boat stop. We're the same people, right? But watch this. Go to Job chapter 9, verse 24.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So God said, right now, who will be running the earth is wicked people. That's why you got all type of wickedness going on. They passing same-sex marriage. They legalizing weed. They doing away with different laws that helps you protect your home. All type of wickedness is going on because you got a wicked people ruling the earth. Read.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
And one of the things that the wicked would do was they would cover the faces of the judges, right? Who's the ultimate judge? God. Who? God. And who comes under him? You got God, and who's right underneath God? Christ. You got Christ. You got God, and you got the Son of God. And then you have the sons of God. So, read it again.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
But God said a wicked nation would cover up the faces of the judges, meaning that they would change what God looked like, they would change what Christ looked like, and they would change what the children of God look like. And to the point where it would break us as a nation, and we would think we the Gentiles, and we'd think that they the real Jews.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
Be strong in the Lord. His word